I downloaded to that folder. I always like checking the idea.
Right. Chase, I'll put it up on the screen. There's no way the filter's
No, don't put it up on the screen.
Chase, I'm going to put it up on the screen momentarily so that you can see it.
Okay, let's see it.
Can you see it,
that
Chase?
is awesome. Yes.
Amazing. For the viewers, there you go. You can get a little horned up from the billboard. What? That's in Brisbane? Mick.
Yep.
What city was that in?
It was in my city, Brisbane. Someone hacked a billboard and put a Pornhub.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Main page on it.
I have no complaints about that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just some larrikins.
This is the Mark Roboto weekly fan club meeting. I know that for a while that was kind of a popular fad here to do that with like traffic signs. If you had like a little RFID scanner, people used to do that at my college campus. You could just like write things on it. But no one did any like flagrant swear words. No one was like dropping N-bombs or anything. People would just put like road closed and the road was clearly open. That was it. That's
so just dangerous stuff instead of,
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah, instead of anything that would get you canceled on old Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the... Oh, hey, John Carr's here. How's it going, John?
JC.
John from Brazil. I think it's Brazil, right? Do you remember?
He's like South American, I thought. He's definitely South American.
So he's in Brazil or Greater Brazil. Let us know how the elections are going. I don't know if that was settled at all. MJ, we have some videos from MJ here too, so we'll watch those. I got some interesting squat videos from a young viewer. I thought they just kind of emailed me like, hey, this is what's going on with the squat. Can you take a look at it? Yep. Oh yeah, so it's Brazil. Classic. But they just emailed me about their squat. And I thought they were like one of my existing clients. They just kind of looked familiar. I was like, what the? I was like, yeah, I helped them out and everything. And they're like, oh, we haven't worked together before. I just sent you these squats. So that was weird. But we're going to watch those today. Then we'll go over the Starting Strength Reddit. I'm here with Mick Sala, something. And then Chase Lindley. How's it going, Mick?
Good.
That's it? That's what we're getting to for today, Mick?
Oh, you get it from me today. That's about my only contribution to this live stream each week.
We'll talk about your training after this, Mick. We'll see how that's going.
Please don't.
Okay, Chase, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well.
That stack is coming in nice. You got to out to the side now. You're going to do a little twirly thing.
No. It says nasty and just really thick at the point. I need to kind of clean it up a little bit, but... Ooh. I haven't shaved it in a while.
So you're not going to do the little twirly thing like the guys in
it just looks fucking weird on me if I twirl it. So I just kind of push it down like that.
Do you sometimes find like a chunk of meat in there after a few hours after you've had dinner? And you're like, yeah.
No, just juices though, like meat juice or like
juice. You find juice in there.
Like that. Yeah.
So so sometimes when you have when I let my longer hair, facial hair, I'll smell something later on and be like, what is that? And it's just slight food residue.
Yeah, what is that, Alex? Yeah.
What is that? So Johnny G here too.
Some of the hair's poke into my nostrils too, so it feels like I have a burger in it too.
That's annoying.
It is.
Chase, did I show you my mustache picture that I took when I was on my trip?
You need to put that on the stream right now.
Yeah, I got to find that if you guys want to read the comments and see what's
definitely,
going on.
I want to see the photo and I want to read the comments. More than anything. We can forget about all the form checks and everything right now until we see
Hold on. I got to find it.
Well, I'll read John Carr's message. What are your thoughts on snatch grip behind the neck presses? As an actual driver of strength, they're terrible because you have all this leverage now that you're working against due to how wide your grip is. But I mean, I use them as a warm up, like an empty bar warm up whenever I'm getting ready for the snatch, just to get my shoulders warmed and prime. Other than that, you just need to follow the standard grip protocol where your forearms are vertical as you take your grip and stuff like that. Oh, as an accessory, he mentioned. Yeah, even as an accessory, how heavy can you get a snatch grip behind the neck press? Fuck, I don't know. Even if you're Dmitry Kokov and you're maybe 100 kilos or something, drastically really light.
Yeah.
Compared to what you can on any other accessory movement.
Yeah, the only time I'll have people do them is just in the early stages of learning how to snatch, and you just need to spend more time in that position. It's just get comfortable with the bar there. I don't care how heavy it is. It's just accumulating time. All right, I gotta put this picture up on the board. I was peer pressured into doing it, but I was pretty proud of this. I was pretty proud of this one. This is a week. This is a week of mustache growth here, everybody. A week.
Hell yeah.
7 days. 7 days, boys. 7 days. I
Oh,
shaved it
God.
off immediately afterwards. Don't worry. It was the
Wow.
classic. You shave everything, you leave the mustache, you take a picture, send it to your wife, and then
You look like a villain from a 1930s movie who's like he's just come across it's like Zorro's villain or something.
oh man. Yeah, no, it was pretty great mustache. If I could do that year round, if I had the constitution to do that all the time.
Why
Yeah.
not,
Why
dude?
don't you?
Just do
Yeah,
it.
why don't you? What's stopping you?
So I've never kissed anyone with a mustache before, but my wife says it's very unpleasant.
Phoebe doesn't really mind mine. Like at some point she does. Like she'll just kind of like bitch and complain, but you just ignore it. You'll be fine.
You guys do tongue only, but no lip touching, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
just kind of open mouth, just near each. Okay. Yeah, Alex is a cop. I wish I was a cop. That'd be a pretty sick job. John Clark, he said, you are removing a bit of triceps and traps, so maybe a way to focus on the delt efficiency. I don't know. There's no delt efficiency. I don't know what that means. What do you think, Chase?
No, and you're definitely not removing traps because that's the only thing that's holding up the bar at
Yeah.
the very top. So it's like, you got to kind of reevaluate this, John.
It's sub-maximal loading, of course, because it's still
Yeah.
later, but like that's still very useful. Johnny G, he got his lifters. Congratulations. All right, so we got to get some videos on the board. We're gonna throw MJ's stuff.
Who
up
won the
when we find that.
election, Johnny Carr?
Oh yeah, who actually won it, and then who won
Yeah.
it? I think is the real question. Okay, so
I
I have
see
two
that
from
video of
MLB.
that. This was in Argentina though. Like one of their
Same shit.
the people that they're trying to, yeah, it really is. One of the people that they're trying to elect, like fucking almost got assassinated, but the dude's gun jammed right in front of her.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dude,
It
it
was
was
a
yeah.
girl. A girl tried to assassinate the guy.
No, it was a female candidate, and then some dude was just like, "No, fuck you," and then try to execute her.
He just didn't like
Nice.
women, or it's just like
No,
women
the
should-
gun just malfunctioned. Just fucking, she got the best luck on the planet.
Man, that's so cool. So in Greater Brazil, by the way, just call any country in South America that's not Brazil Greater Brazil. They love it.
So what happened to the dude? Is he now like on a barbecue
Oh
somewhere?
yeah, he's probably he's fucking dead. Probably.
They took him to a sun temple, and then they ripped his heart out. He is a goner.
Yeah, I think we just saw a photo of that guy on the live stream about 3 minutes ago.
So the left wing guy won. Probably there wasn't any fraud, but maybe. What do I know? That's a good question, John Clark. We do not know what you know. You could be a political pundit working for Brazilian CNN. Who knows? All right. So MJ, this is MJDC, the boy. This is his overhead press. If I remember correctly, he got stuck. MJ, you got stuck with like 155 for a double, and then this seems to be, what is this, Chase? 150. That's a 5.
Yeah, looks like it.
And a 2.5.
Somewhere around there.
So we're at 150. And then MJ said, as soon as you watch this video, the head movement problem is obvious. So let's see what we can do about this head movement. He's belting up. Stance seems very narrow, MJ.
Mm-hmm. Man, I like how he's still in the hips. It's just that there's a pause before he's actually starting the press. And that's where I think, MJ, you're starting to kind of generate some head movement to kind of help move the bar up.
Toss it.
Like what I've been telling people recently is like, especially on their heavy singles and kind of heavier attempts, is like always keep the bar in motion. So the point where you take this and unrack it to where you're throwing the hips, there's really no pause. And this thing, if there's a pause in it, you're going to kill your drive up there. So just keep the thing in motion, throw the hips, and then punch through that little sticking point that you got there.
That's an excellent one. Like, never let the bar stop. Always keep the bar moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good cue, Chase. I like that a lot. The other one I'll use for this situation is press out of the bounce. So you're pressing. So it's like you're creating this bounce, and then that's your opportunity to press. You're not waiting for like a secondary stretch to happen. So yeah, because normally I feel like we'll have to say it pretty frequently. People will get overly eager and we'll have to say press late, you know, because they're pressing in the middle of the layback. Whereas MJ, you have the opposite problem now. You are pressing a little bit late.
Yep.
Which one do you think is preferable for standard training, Chase?
Later.
If you had to fuck up in one way.
I think the safer bet here is what MJ's doing in press later, because he still kind of can balance it a little bit. Whereas like if you're pressing early, tendency is just you throw this thing way out in front and you're fucking walking all over the place. It's just, you're not having a fun time.
Agreed. I didn't know this, but as host, I mute and unmute people, so I unmuted Mick because he muted.
That's because I'm typing and they want to hear my keyboard clicks.
Mick, how's your hip doing? I know you were having some hip issues before.
Good, man. It's much better. It's pretty much
Yeah?
healed up. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was annoying
Sick.
me for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're watching MJDC's squat failure, so I was like, oh, that's probably going to hurt someone's hip. We'll talk about Mick's hip.
It's my favorite subject.
Your favorite subject. Yeah, so are you back on the grind now? You're back
Yep.
increasing the loads every time?
Yep.
Nice.
I got big loads ready to roll.
Big loads.
So what did you do to your hip again?
I have absolutely no idea. I just woke up one morning and it was just every time if I would bend over to pick something up, and as I came back up, I would just get shooting pains like all through my
Wild
glutes,
night, huh?
lower back.
Mhm.
I mean, I wish I had a good excuse for it. I'd tell you if I did. It's a very boring story, but I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I do a sport because then at least I have reasons to be in pain because I'll talk to other people and they'll just be like, yeah, I was just sitting at my desk and I threw my neck out. You know what I mean? Just random shit. Like Mick
That's a lie.
Mick is living the
There's
life of a musician.
There's only two ways you can throw your neck out. One of them was a car accident.
Yeah, like Mick is living the life of a very active musician and just damaged his hip so badly. But what, you were kind of in a little pain hole, for like 3 weeks probably, Mick?
Yeah, I reckon a good 2 weeks. I thought,
you were going to have to get a hip replacement.
That's literally what I thought was going to happen. I thought I'm going to go to hospital. They're going to open my hip up. They're going to sandpaper down my hip.
Right.
I was about to go get a scan, and then Alex told me to stop being a pussy.
Yeah.
And just move around a bit, and I should start feeling better. And that's kind of what worked. So.
Good advice, tried and true.
It was pretty bad though. Like, I mean, it was like significantly stopping me from doing stuff. Like just bending over and coming back up again was
Jesus.
Hideous pain, but it seems to have sorted itself out, whatever it was.
We have to remember we're in the room with a real athlete, Chase, who very rarely gets tweaks.
No, I get some tweaks and shit.
How often have you had like a put you out of training for like a few weeks tweak?
Oh, that's been years. And
exactly.
hopefully it stays like that.
Here we go.
I get one.
But here recently, I got like this
Uh,
weird pop going on in my femur. So like if I
in the middle of the femur.
No, it's by the acetabulum. So if I clench my ass cheek, it'll kind of just click a little bit, and I think
it's just too powerful.
No, I think it's just from me fucking up a jerk. So like I kind of just jammed something or something like that. It doesn't hurt. It pops every now and then.
That's amazing. You were like, yeah, my ass was just too big. Speaking of big asses, we have MJ with his squat. The whole squat session, my mechanics felt really off in a way that he hasn't felt for a while. What do you think about that, Chase? Anything? What's the first glaring thing that you're triaging here?
I'm watching his knee placement, man. So what I mean by that is, as you go down, MJ, like you're doing fine going down, but as you come back up, there's a significant change in your back angle, and that's resulting in your knee shooting back. So you're kind of just like good morning the squat back up. So that will lead to you shifting back into your heels a little bit. You overdoing like the hips back instead of hips up. So like they're perfect position there. And then like if you go forward just a little bit, Alex, there's a change.
So that was
like,
rep 1. That was successful.
But there's a drastic, shift in balance.
Yeah, it's
back
right
angle
there.
change, all that stuff.
Yeah, so this is what Chase is talking about. Oop. I'm going to actually slow this down. Video. Where's, playback. We're going to go playback, speed, slower. Yeah, so everybody, this is what Chase was talking about. MJ's knee right here. What you're going to see is like the hips are going to come up a little bit, and then it's going to look like the bar's not moving, but his whole leg is shifting backwards out from under him, and then he kind of gets a little wobbly and then shaky. So hips go up, and then it shifts back, and then he's ending up in this position, which is just really undesirable. Most of the mass is kind of behind midfoot now. He's on the heels. The shins are vertical. Quads are kind of out of the game, and then he just has to grind it out. And then we'll watch number 3 at this. I believe 3 is the failure, so then we'll watch it on the slow one. So forward.
It just gets even more bent over. Yeah.
Yep. So how do you like to fix these things, Chase?
This is the one instance where you can tell someone to drive their chest out of the bottom to help this issue. So at this point, I don't know what you're thinking of, or if you're thinking of like driving your hips or something like that, but your hips are coming up just fine. but your thoracic stability is just shit. So you're gonna have to think about jamming your shoulders up against the bar, making the bar roll down your back, all those cues that kind of align to where it makes the bar position stable, and then your back angle constant coming up out of the bottom, and this will be totally fine.
Yeah. One thing I like to say, like the driving the chest up cues, if someone doesn't kind of understand what driving their chest up means because they just haven't really done it before, which is very understandable, think about just standing up directly under the barbell. Okay, so don't think about any part of your body, just stand straight up under the bar. That normally gets it. A good question from Snail here. Chase, can you read this one while I grab the
So
video?
from Snail, around what weight do people normally start micro-loading the bench? That's kind of it depends there, Snail. If someone's really good at benching, it's going to be at a higher weight. If someone's really shitty at benching, it's going to be pretty soon. Like for example, if I have a 65-year-old lady come in, we're going to be micro-loading pretty fast, probably within 2, maybe 3 weeks, depending on her condition. But if I get like a 18-year-old kid come in, yeah, we're not micro-loading for the next foreseeable 5 months or so.
Yeah, so you'll have some kind of fringe cases, Snail. Like I have some guy who's like he benched before, but it was with an incredibly close grip. His pecs are really undeveloped. He's just a relatively weak guy, kind of across the board. I may have to start taking smaller jumps with him or switching him to triples at like one. I'm thinking at this point probably around 140. It happens. If you have tell us what your height and weight are, Snail, and then we can ballpark it. Like the absolute size of your body is what's going to influence this decision more. And then another question here: should he use his new lifters when he deadlifts? What do you think, Chase?
No, man, your feet are gonna explode. I mean, everyone knows that. That's why you don't lift with deadlifting shoes.
Reddit will make fun of you.
Yeah. No, Johnny, look, I don't know where the fuck people have thought like this is a good idea not to wear, actual like solid arch supports underneath their feet as they lift, but I rather have my arch intact whenever I'm pulling something heavy. But like if you're a 1,000-pound puller and you want to lift barefooted, hey, that's on you. You have a little bit more say in this fight than I do, but again, you have a better overall protection of the arch. I think some people too, whenever they wear just like Converses or just really flat shoes, they kind of fuck with some plantar fasciitis a little bit. I've had, I think, 2 people kind of dealt with that too. So just remove all those variables and just wear some shoes.
Yeah. If I ever have a lifter who's like, you'll meet people who will complain about having flat feet and they'll be like, yeah, I just can't get these lifts to feel comfortable. And then you'll put them in a pair of lifters and then they'll feel a lot better. You'll put them in a supportive shoe.
Powerlift 3, Johnny Carr. I think the ones I've got, they don't have a big arch at all. I mean, they're flat. They're pretty flat compared to regular lifting shoes. I think that's what they call the Powerlift 3s or 2s or something.
Okay, here we go. So he's 6 foot tall, 211 pounds. He's benching 125. Yeah, so if I had to guess someone who's 211, who's 6 feet tall, they would probably have to start altering bench programming or microloading, as both are reasonable options, close to 200.
Yeah, close to body weight.
Yeah.
I mean, what if this guy's like kind of obese though?
I mean, it's 6 foot at 200. Like, I mean, it kind of depends, like if it.
Yeah. But I mean, he might be
let's say worst case scenario, you have no muscle on your body and you just are a fat 211. I'd say maybe 180.
Yeah, because you still got the leverages at that point of a big chest because you're fat.
Yeah, so higher than you are now, Snail. If you think that you're going to have to start microloading the bench soon and you're asking because you're like, damn, the bench is getting really hard, send us a video of your technique. It's a lot of these things are technique related. People think the bench is really simple, but sometimes it can sneak up on you. Especially, if you're a fat 211, you don't have if you don't have an athletic background, some of these times these movements aren't super organic. Like where you start changing programming and where you start microloading, that's curious about Chase's opinion, but like for mine, it doesn't really matter what the weight is, just it matters what kind of when the bar speed is slowing down, when you have to grind reps out.
Yep.
Because if it's like if you're failing reps and you're doing a real grind and you've answered the first 3 questions before Rip's article, the 3 questions, then it's time to change programming and start doing other stuff. Yeah, Chase, how common is that sort of occurrence?
Me letting
Where
people
have
grind through, or
people have to change things earlier than they expect to.
if you have a good coach actually watching you, it's going to be fairly common because, well, my methodology is I don't want you to get in a position to where now you're really trying to fail, or like you're kind of regretting coming into the gym and trying to push on something really hard, even if it's not the bench, but just like the deadlift or the press. Like you do need to grind. Yes, everyone needs to learn how to grind another rep. But like if it's just like, 3 sessions in of you grinding and you're just like, fuck, I don't know how much I can take and why am I paying this guy? That's where things should have changed, 2 workouts ago. And at that point, that's where you kind of make those programming considerations, and you still make it difficult, right? And it's still going to be difficult with the 2-pound increases, but it won't be as near as a death grind as what you experienced maybe the session previous.
Yeah, effort is a budget. You don't have an unlimited amount of effort to spend. You may want all the gains in the world, but just more effort doesn't always mean it's going to get there. So easy there, Tiger posted this, and then apparently, did he email this to you, Mick, or did he message?
No,
you?
he DM'd me on Reddit.
Okay, all right. So this guy Tigger slid into Mick's DMs, and he was like, "Help me out with my deadlift, please." I filmed it so that we can also form check this guy's close grip bench
I
press.
know. I was looking at that in the background.
Oh, yeah.
We can do a 2-for-1 form check. Okay. Yeah, so this is the squatting your deadlift guy. This is what people think of when they think of conventional, and it causes a bunch of problems. And then this close grip bench press is pretty good. This is a 205-pound close grip, and he's pumping these out.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy. I think it looks like a set of 8 that he's doing almost.
Yeah, a little tilty. Leg drives loose. He's up. His arms are not that big.
Could be a weird angle, though, but you're probably right.
So even let's just look at this real quick, guys.
Yeah, this guy said, I feel like to get my back flat, I have to drop my hips a ton. The sumo felt better, but this is literally a video of the first time I tried sumo, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. I can't watch live, but let me know if you end up giving me feedback so I can try to learn. Thanks.
Of course. Yeah. So, okay. So to his credit here in the kind of rationalist A to B to C thinking, his back is straight now when he dropped his hip. Why is this disadvantageous, guys? Does anyone know? Mick, do you know?
No, you go for Chase.
Chase, do you know?
Yeah, it rolls the bar forward to midfoot because now look at his knee angle. His knee angle is really bent. It's really closed. And with the deadlift, we want it a little bit more open than that. So that's going to create his hips to go up higher, more tension on his hamstrings, which is fine. And then putting his shoulders at that point over the bar. So in this configuration, like you can't really see the bar, but you can still imagine like his shoulders are probably right over the bar or even maybe slightly behind it. His knees are way over the barbell. And then this thing is probably about 3 or 4 inches forward of midfoot.
Yeah, so the kind of the big principle, the why around this is it's like we need to keep the bar over midfoot. How do we figure out how to get you there? I'm looking for a deadlift image real quick, and then I'll pop back to the.
But like I have one of these guys in the gym currently right now he's kind of fresh into this, and he looks like number 2 right here, always at the start before I yell at him because he's been told that, hey, you need to squat this up because of high school, and then 2, it's better for him because he's a bigger guy to get set with his low back, and it is an easier position to set your back in number 2. But in terms of mechanical advantage and everything doing what it needs to be doing in the lift, number 1 is the correct setup here, and not 3, of course. But
yeah, so it's like, what are the consequences? It's like the first goal is not just get your back as flat as possible. That's not the first goal. The first goal is to move the weight efficiently, and to do that, you need it over midfoot, and then that facilitates a high hipped position, and that high hip position facilitates having a straight back. It's not the other way around. It doesn't. You don't work from straight back and then work backwards from there. You work from bar over midfoot, bar in straight line, and then you create a system around it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I chances are he hasn't seen our starting strength deadlift setup there. But that video has it all. Is there anything you would add to that video, Chase? Now that it's been a few years, anything else?
I'd have to go back and watch it, but from what I remember, no.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point, everybody.
Yeah, and if I did change anything, it'd be like some small shit, like nothing like,
Yeah,
oh, step 1 is completely wrong type shit.
exactly. You'd wear a tighter shirt or something. That's about
Yeah,
it.
get like a better looking guy on there, or like a chick.
Exactly. You would redo the video, but now with a mustache and a tank top. That's probably the change. Okay, so Johnny G's deadlifts. Chase, do you remember Johnny G's deadlifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like number 3, but on stage
Mhm.
they look even higher. Somehow even higher.
Yeah.
So we talked about Easy There Tigger. His problem was that he's going to number 2. Johnny G's problem is that he's at number 3. Why is this one bad, Chase?
So look at the knees now. So with the deadlift, the first thing that has to happen is knee extension, and then you complete it by extending the hips, right? So number 3, yeah, some people are able to keep this bar over midfoot or maybe even slightly back, just depending on how high they raise their hips. But how effectively can he perform knee extension? Well, not that much because of how open his knee is already on the setup. Now, what this does is now put a lot of load bearing on the hips and then the low back, to where, like with Johnny G, like he'll instantly round his low back, and that's how people tweak it back.
Yeah, the like it kind of shifts the demands. It's like we're looking for a pretty even trade with the
Mhm.
relevant body parts doing the relevant amount of work, and that settles you on a position somewhere near number 1. The lats have a harder time of doing their job. The
Mhm.
quads are more out of the game because the knees are already really extended. And then for a lot of people, this is just such a high and tight position that it's uncomfortable on the lower back. And then you'll see, like, when lifters lose their lower back extension, it's normally not in the correct position. They'll normally lose it in 2 or 3.
Mhm.
In position 2, it just won't be tight in the first place. They'll get it there because it's easy, right? They don't have to really squeeze into extension. They can just kind of get there because they're sitting up basically. And then on the third one, they're just trying without any weight to maintain that position because it's so hard to. And as soon as you add load, it becomes too much.
Mhm.
This is the stiff-legged deadlift, and it's a good training accessory, but it's way lighter than your normal deadlift. And then there you go, everybody. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, R.I.P. Johnny G.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we want to try and get more towards number 1. So that's him, and then we'll go over these squats I got via email. This Okay, so this is 175 for 3 sets of 5. The camera work leaves some to be desired. I will say that. It's not the greatest angle. But a girl named Elle, she emailed me saying that she's having a hard time figuring out if she's a depth, and then
Do you
can't
want
get
to
it.
make do you want to make the video a bit bigger on the screen or something?
Let's try. How's
I
that?
mean, make us smaller and make the video bigger.
Does this work? Can you see it better now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can zoom in more. It's not changing anything. Okay. And this seems to be
It's like what?
3
It's like
reps.
155 or something like that.
It's 175 for 5
175.
triples, and I'm not sure what set this is, how many sets deep this is, but yeah. So these are definitely stopping real high. Hell of a grind though. Yeah. So we'll pause this on the last stop. That's about as deep as she got in the last one. So how high is that, Chase? How many inches high do you think that is?
Man, probably like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, hips crease about there. We need to get that below the knee, which is there.
Mhm.
So a good bit down from here.
Mhm.
Yeah, so what do we do? So my recommendations, we'll kind of see the after product. I'm not sure how she did. The after video just came in, I think today or yesterday. I didn't really look at it. But this is kind of the before area. Knees are collapsing in a lot.
Mhm.
Anything else you're seeing here on this one, Chase, that you want to change?
A little bit of a narrow stance there.
Yeah, I told her to move the stance out.
Mhm.
Yeah, stance out, knees out was kind of my big recommendation. I guess we'll
Mhm.
see how she did.
Like I think too, and then if she just moves her hip back a little bit faster, just kind of gets established with leaning over
On the way down?
Yeah, I think this will
Okay.
help too.
All right. Well, let's see how it went. Who fucking knows?
So is this her from most recent?
Yes. Yeah. So okay, this was 20 hours ago.
So this is after you gave the feedback.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, "Who are you?" Number one. Also, widen your stance. Shove your knees out to the side.
Oh, there we go.
Did you also tell her to take weight off the bar too?
Yes. Yeah. I told her I was
Yeah.
like, "Go do some practice sets at 135." And then this is much deeper. How deep is this, Chase? Too deep? Not
Yeah,
deep enough?
that's a little bit too deep.
10 inches too high? All right. So we're in the other direction now.
So like, if you go back to that frame, Alex,
To the okay. Yeah, we'll pause back.
so like here's
This
a good
is rep
cue.
1.
Yeah, like what I tell people too that are kind of struggling here is like, imagine if you put like an egg right behind your knee and you're trying not to crack it, but at the same time you still need to make the egg rather stay in place, and that's going to be like where you kind of hold your depth.
You just want to hug the egg.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. So
gently
like
squeeze.
if she's too high, right, the egg's going to fall out of that little cradle that she's making, and then here she's making
Right.
scrambled eggs, right?
Mm-hmm. I like this. I like this line of cueing.
Mm.
You got to do that in the gym if someone's bombing depth. Just put an
I
egg
have
behind their knee
no,
on the way
not an
down.
actual egg. I
Just
use
put
my
it in,
fist
and they'll
sometimes.
crack it, and then they'll never
you
go that
fist
deep
them.
again.
You fist them until they hit depth.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see. So these are definitely. I'm glad they're deeper. I'd rather them be too deep than too shallow. We'll say
Exactly.
that to start. Yeah, stances wider, knees seem to be in control. I would say even go wider still.
I wonder if she's. I mean, I wish we had a better camera angle, but like, if she's almost too close to like the little pins there, if she's kind of just thinking about that too much, or what?
Do you mean the safety arms, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like the rack itself, like her
Okay.
stance, like if her
Right.
toe is like too close.
If it's
to
too wide, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she has enough space. Her cameraman fucking sucks. You got
Yeah.
a new camera guy, L. Okay, so this little kind of tucking off at the bottom, like you'll see the line of her shorts twist under.
Mhm.
That's a good indicator that it's going a little bit too deep. But like Chase, when you're correcting squats, do you care about that? Is that something? Is that a symptom? Is that a cause? What is that for you?
No, that is a symptom of what's happening in general. So, what's happening is like if you look at her hamstring anatomy here. So at the bottom, where the hamstring originates, that's where like Alex was talking about. Is that right by her
Right here.
shorts? Yep,
Yeah.
that's what he's mentioning earlier about it tucking underneath. Right, this portion of where it crosses this joint, it's going into extreme flexion. Right, and then with her knee, though, let's think of it as like the hamstring now wraps around and kind of covers that bone that you always hit on furniture. In that position, it's really contracting, right? It's in that configuration at the bottom. It's just pulling everything kind of forward. It is slack now, the hamstring, to where it is not doing its job of being an isometric contraction, and she
Yeah.
kind of just has this drift forward to where she's getting back into her quads to push out of the bottom.
Yeah, the lower back gets loose when the hamstrings tuck under. Yeah, the way Rip explains it, which is always good, it's your lower back and your hamstrings are in a fight to control the position of your pelvis, which they are. You want to keep that in the same configuration so that we know the movement is happening around the hip and that your spine isn't getting all bendy during the squat. Not that it's the worst thing. Like her back's fine from squatting this. It's more just kind of an efficiency thing. Like you'll notice if you have a soft back and you're squatting something actually heavy, it feels like what you're giving with your legs isn't getting into the bar. When you have good back extension, it feels like everything you're giving it with your legs, it's directly contributing to bar movement. Whereas when your back rounds, the whole thing just gets soft. It's just not great. So these are better. I thought these would look easier because this was 175 for a triple. This last one that was really grindy. 135 didn't look as fast as I thought.
No, it just depends on what she's doing too outside of here. So I mean, is she an athlete? All that stuff. So she could be doing
probably, yeah.
She could be doing a lot of work outside of here and stuff like that. Also, I forgot to clarify. I said it wrong about the hamstrings. The knee position that is going into flexion, not the hip. I always fuck that part up.
Is that, yeah, by the way, what's your favorite part of the lectures to give when you're doing seminar stuff, Chase? What do you go for the most normally?
I've only done the coaching and then the bench. They won't let me do the other stuff because I'll fuck shit up like that, you know.
Yeah, that shows starting strength's priority about the bench.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the SS subreddit because I know we have not been there in a minute. Yeah, I got another message from a guy being like, "Are you guys ever going to come back and do this?"
Well, in the meantime, we got a question from John Carr here. If I lay back in the press, is the pec getting enough stimulus so I don't need to bench press as much or at all? Well, so whenever you lay back, right, your pec minor and not so much your major, but definitely your pec minor is getting a lot of work, right? Just due to the angle of the torso here and then and the degree of your layback. But even with a normal amount of layback, you're still getting some pec involvement, but it's not to the degree of a bench press, right? Because just of the angle of the humerus. If we can look at someone right in their eyes as they're pressing and as they're throwing their hips forward, their elbows kind of split out maybe just a little bit or they don't change at all. Whatever angle that humerus is, that's about the attachment that the pec is going to have to pull from, right? But if you're, what's so funny?
There's a Mick posted our stream in the
fuck.
SS Reddit, and it says, "Debate me, bro." Chase, look how pretty
I
you are.
thought
So
I
pretty,
thought I
buddy.
was fucking up here on my
Yeah, pretty you are.
explanation.
No, of course not.
But like
It's
on
the
on
only
bench
flair
press,
that they have. It's annoying. There's no like media video thing. So, you know. But yeah, debate us, bros. Fucking
Debate
bring it
us,
on.
bros.
Yeah.
All right, but carry on, Chase. We didn't mean to interrupt you.
very good. So like on the bench press, your angle of your humerus is it's about 75, 70 degrees, right? And you're going to get a little bit more stimulus there because the angle of that attachment is being closer to 90 degrees and it's going to have more mechanical advantage. So the pec minor is a breathing muscle? No, your pec has two muscles. So it's pec major, which is kind of the lower side, kind of like closer to your nipple, and then minor is up top. So whenever you see people who are really jacked and like they kind of like make those muscles striate across their chest, up top, right up here by like your clavicle, that's your minor.
If you ever strain your pec minor, it's really weird because you feel like you can bench pretty normally, but then you try to like press, incline press, anything like that, and you're like, "What the fuck? Why does this hurt so bad?"
Yeah.
Incline pec strains, things to that effect, or they feel very weird. All right, so we're gonna go by. I guess we'll just go by top. We'll go by top for. We haven't been here in a while. All right, we got Billy Boys press here.
Billy boy.
This is my favorite cardio machine, by the way.
What is that?
The recumbent bike. It's you just sitting. It's like you're in an office chair, and then you just.
Does it have handles in it too?
Yeah,
I think
you can handle.
you could actually hang
your
food on those things and actually just shovel it into your mouth at the same time.
That's
you can.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this guy needs to watch JD's video about pressing with urgency. Like, you really just want to get through the set as fast as you fucking can. As fast as you can. You do not want any delay on that.
Well, not only that, like I'd still reference him back to like the pressing video too. Like it's timing's a little bit off. You're swaying back into your heels to generate the hips. There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on here. Yeah. All right, so to triage this, Billy, widen your stance out. Number one, point your toes out a little bit more. Stretch your hips out. Think about reaching your belly past your shoes and then bouncing out of that position. And then just hurry the hell up, Billy. Do not take that long. But this was certainly a good start. He has, you have the elbow position down. The rack position is pretty decent too. So
yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, really good start. All right, AK Anderson 3 days ago. He said, "Are these deep enough?" And ignore the fart.
We gotta listen for the fart now.
Yeah, get some volume.
Ah, fucking goddamn it! Can you guys hear this, or is it just me?
Nah, can't hear it.
Damn it! No,
just make the noise. Make the noise with your mouth.
I'll let you know when it happens.
Yeah, and make the noise as best you can.
And describe it in detail.
Yeah, and the smell, if possible.
Is it? It is indiscernible. It's incredibly loud. All I hear is like.
Can you go to the
crunch gym
comments?
Music.
Let's see what the
All right, yeah,
comments
we'll
have to say
check
about
the
it.
comments out.
As long as it's not
Yeah,
a
so
car.
yes, he didn't hear any farts. The fart is on the way down in rep 2. Okay, thank you for isolating that.
We need a timestamp, really,
That's true.
or a fart.
All right, so
stamp.
apparently there's an auto moderator post that says anytime someone says butt wink, this happens.
Jesus Christ.
Never ignore fart. Starting strength coach, Hebert
Is it?
strength.
Is that a
Those
is
are
that a
boxing
starting strength coach?
shoes. Squats are a bit high. They're not weightlifting shoes, buddy.
Is that a starting strength coach? Who's Herbert Strength?
I think he's one of the new guys.
Matt
Don't dive
Herbert.
bomb it.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. That's who it is.
Matty Herbert. Do you say
Matty
Herbert or Herbert? Because I know in America
Herbert.
you guys say herbs instead of herbs. It has an H on the front of the
Herbs.
word.
Herb.
You say herbs. So you say Matthew
Yeah.
Herbert.
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 No, we say the H when it's in someone's name.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So how would we fix these squats aside from he's wearing wrestling shoes, which he should not be wearing?
Just sitting way back, making your tailbone touch the wall behind you, and you're going to hit depth like that. You're just getting into your knees too much. I think, and not leaning over enough.
Yeah. John Carr, if you just look up JD, it's JD's video. If you just look at like press JD Shipley or JD press, you'll probably find it. Oh, this is good. Easy recovery is a lot easier with quality sleep. Yes, confirmed. All right, Gus Thor tried a 1RM press today. Any suggestions? I have a lot already, Gus.
What is that, like 65 pounds?
What the fuck? Is it 65 pounds?
That's not that much.
Oh, it's 132 pounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't do 1RM. Early Arachnid 6710 classic. All right. I wanted to test my 1RMs before changing programs. Thank you.
There you go, man. Hell yeah.
Thank you. I hate 1RMs. I think when people live for longer, they slowly start to despise 1RMs. All right, Chase, how would you fix this press outside of just kind of showing him the video?
So let's get his grip in a proper position here. I want to be a little bit narrower than that, maybe like a finger width, 2. Take the bar out with kind of getting your elbows up and then making the bar roll without your wrist rolling back. So that way your wrist is in more stable position. It's not back into overextension here. And then as you're pressing, Phoebe kind of came up with this cue. So if right there as you're holding it, there's too much distance between the bar and where your chin is. Pinch your bicep, really flex it, and that's going to create this bar right there to go back a little bit, and this is going to be more favorable as you start pressing.
Yeah, because let's look at how far out he gets this. Yeah, so there's your shoulder, buddy. We know where your shoulder is. Your middle of your foot, that's pretty easily identifiable. That's your head. The bar is literally 6 inches in front of your head. It's right. Far. It's not the position we want. I'll do this because I don't think most people understand this. So this is what Chase is talking about. That's the bicep. The forearm is an arrow. If you just kind of put your finger up, the bar is going to go in the direction your finger is pointed in, right? So if I have really low elbows and I'm down here and I'm holding it like this, where's the bar going to go? It's going to go away from my shoulder, right? When we have this high elbowed position and I'm keeping my chest up, look at where my forearm is angled. Right, my forearm is angled back towards my eyeball, back towards my head. That means when I push up my arm, it's going to go in the direction that I want it to go at. Okay, yeah, people get so confused with that one because we'll say like, "Well, keep your elbows in front of the bar," and then they'll think we mean something wildly different.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's pretty simple.
You've been hitting some hammer curls, man.
That's the only curl I do, man.
Hell yeah,
that's the only curl I do. All right, so we got Iliasin _OX01. Yeah, previously in the Reddit reviews, we'll have people with good usernames. All the usernames have kind of sucked today. All right, we have a bar path tracking app. This is the number one thing. He's close to depth, if not
Mhm.
right at depth. It's borderline, that's for sure.
I don't know, man. That bar pathing tracker, dude,
Okay,
is
that
looking
one,
pretty straight.
that one was high. Oh man, these are grindy, dog. Okay, Chase, why are squats that are a little bit high and in front of midfoot grindy? How could that possibly happen?
Because you have no more muscle mass to help you aid you get your ass up out of the bottom. Like
How
you're
could
just
this
quadsing it
possibly
up.
happen? Yeah, so that's exactly it. You're just quadding it out of the hole. I think rep 1 he got super forward at midfoot. I'll try to pause it on the bottom frame. Yeah, so this was your most bottom position that you had here, Ilya. Or I love you, Asin. I'm not sure what your name is. But yeah, so the knees are collapsing in. You're forward of midfoot. The bar path app is even telling you that it's tilting slightly forward, and then you're not at depth. So Chase, if you had to triage this kind of cues 1, 2, 3, where would you start?
So number one, midfoot, right? Finding your balance point, which is going to be over the midfoot. The second one, and will also kind of help with the first one, is sitting back into your hips a little bit more. And then 3, making sure that you're driving your hips up out of the bottom.
These are, I'm trying to see if these are lifting shoes. I think these are just normal running shoes. It's kind of really, it's hard to see, but they have that big pad at the back. So these are also just running shoes. We'll see if he says anything about here. You're getting on your toes. Do yourself a favor and get some shoes. Oh man, we have 2 SSCs in here. Hell yeah, buddy. Work on leaning over, chest down. I suspected my depth wasn't deep enough. Second point, however, never crossed my mind. Leaning over. Yep, for sure. Ooh, I love this. Dude, that's kick ass. I think this is a troll. Start watching Squat University. The dude changed my life in mobility. I used to have shitty form, but started to use his mobilization stretches. It made one hell of a difference, and I don't feel as tight as definitely recommend. Amazing.
What is
an
the
auto
Horshings? What is that? What is that? Is that what
I
it's
think
called?
that's probably his name. His
Horshings
name
on-
probably isn't Squat University. That would be pretty sick, though, if he changed his name to be Squat University. All right, MD. God damn, these usernames are failing me. All right, this has some notes to it.
It says some weird variables in this.
Yes, there's kind of a bunch of different presses going on here.
Do you think his tall head has anything like any issues?
I was thinking that as well. I was
That's
like,
a
I
tall
wonder.
head. It's a long way to get that bar over before he can actually get it above his spine.
I was like, what is this a trick of the camera? Maybe it's the camera angle because we're looking up at it, Mick.
This dude's built like a railroad spike. You know how it's like really narrow at the tip and then really broad at the top?
That's true. Yeah, it's a V taper, but it's a very subtle V taper.
Really weird.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that, Chase.
Go ahead.
It's built like a railroad spike. All right, how would we fix MMDAPS? How would we fix his press? Let's see what the comments say. Oh, here we go. Check out our press tutorial. That's a good idea.
Yep.
You need to implement hip thrust. One thing I like about people who are English as a second language, they'll use words in an interesting way. Like I had a client who was Eastern European for a while, and he would always say, I forgot to activate my hip drive. So if he didn't, hip drive correctly on the squat, he'd be like, I forgot to activate my hip drive. And then this guy's like, you need to implement hip thrust.
Yeah, it's funny when they can't speak English well, isn't it? It's hilarious.
Well, like, because it makes sense, but then like if you say activating your hip drive, it sounds like I'm playing playing a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I need to activate my hip drive.
Yeah, my grandma used to say, "Close the lights."
Close the lights.
Yeah, I'll open the lights.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that one before. Is that just a grandma thing, or is that an Australia thing from that generation?
Maybe.
You got to go if you see a grandma out and about. You got.
I don't think she grew up with lights, so it's just like close the door was probably close the door, close the window.
All right, grip is too wide, knees are bent. Not your bro 69. He got this down, man. He got that down pat. All right, help butt wink on squat. Strat guy.
Yeah, that's nice.
God damn, dude, that is a textbook high bar squat.
Yeah, he's high bar, low
The first
bar.
rep was nice.
Looks like it could be your
Mhm.
son, Chase.
No, I don't claim him, but
Chase's sons are going to be a beautiful light milk chocolate color.
they're gonna be a gelatos.
A what?
It's an Italian slang for a mixed person.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Are we going to get removed from YouTube for you saying
Probably.
that?
The Italian
the ice
YouTube
cream.
censors.
I meant the
Yeah.
ice cream, not the
Mhm.
I don't think the Italians care, as far as
no,
I've met
they
most
don't give a
Italians.
fuck.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, and this is another thing. I think this is people attempting to pathologize the squat. The bottom position of his squat may just feel bad
Mhm.
because it's the bottom of a squat and it's hard, and he's thinking it's the butt wing coming out of the bottom. The butt wing's not really playing too big of a role here. You know, he's going a little bit too deep, and he's almost pausing at the bottom of most
Yep.
reps, but it's not bad at all. Chase, do you see anything really wrong with this squat?
Yeah, so like one bar placement, want the bar a little bit lower, back angle for
Yeah.
1, 2. Like this guy, he is pretty long in the torso, but he's gonna have a little bit
Mhm.
more of a horizontal back angle than that. And his knees are gonna stop about halfway down instead of continuously kind of going forward to the point where they're probably freezing right over his big toe or maybe even slightly back. Just depends on how long his femurs are.
Over more. This auto moderator's killing it. You're jutting ass out. Hinge and sit back like you're sitting at an oar without looking or using your hands.
You gotta read that in a weird accent, like you're sitting back in oar.
Keep the plane
from
from tailbone to crown through the entire.
Oh my God.
Fire your hips out of hole. Repeat. Chase, can you read this for me, please? So I can attempt to we can unravel the mysteries of not
You
a
are
sock.
dropping ass out. Hitch your hinge and sit back like you're sitting in an oar without
In an oar.
looking or using your hands. Keep the plane from tailbone to ground through the entire rep. Fire hips out of hole. Repeat.
Okay.
Nice,
All
that's
right.
pretty good. He got actually someone upvoted that post as well,
There you go.
and
That
some
was
and
probably,
the OP actually said,
probably
"I,"
you.
and the original poster actually said, "I got that." So,
I understand.
This
Yes.
is Reddit speak, I think. This will be Reddit speak.
So sitting in an oar without looking or using. I just don't know what he means by sitting in. Does he mean like you are
See, in a car?
you're rowing? You're
Mhm.
rowing.
Does he mean a car or like a boat?
Okay, so let's pretend this is car and then see if it makes sense. All right.
Sitting in a car
So
without
hinge
looking.
and sit back like you're sitting in a car without looking or using your hands. So he's going reaching with your butt. Okay, so this is definitely car. Who said, was that you, Chase? Did you figure that out?
Yeah.
Or is that Mick? Okay,
That was
so
me.
Chase, Detective Chase. All right, so sit back like you're sitting in a car. Keep
Uh-huh.
the plane from tailbone to crown.
That's your back
Okay.
angle.
So yeah, so you keep the back angle through the entire rep. Hip drive, repeat. All right, this makes sense. I got it. We're just not as intelligent as Strat Guy
No,
is,
we're
I think
not.
is what the problem is. Full foot pressure, maybe don't pause.
Full
All right.
pressure. I like that one.
Full. All right, here we go. We got a power clean going on.
Oh, nice.
Nice, impressive bit, 25.49. We'll see how this goes. This is one of my favorite things to see in a home gym is when people have the tape marks for their feet as to
Mhm.
where to go.
Man, the rack looks good. I would just like his stance a little bit wider at the start,
Yeah,
but other than that, he's looked pretty good.
absolutely wider in the stance. Yeah, you're not. So there's no arm pull here whatsoever. It seems like we have 155, 65, 70. So he's power cleaning 170.
Yeah, he's pretty
Probably,
good.
yeah, weighs maybe about 210, 220. I think you're getting a little bit loose in the jump. I would try to stay tight for even longer.
Like in his upper
maybe-
back, you mean? Kind of just
I just think almost in like the legs. It's like he's trying to get his knees back under while not really having committed to the first pull. I think this is about commitment to the first pull, frankly. Yeah. These frankly, these just kind of look a little bit lazy. If I ever see cleans like this and I normally just tell someone to try harder, they'll just kind of get the whole system tighter on their own.
Yeah.
You know, the hips go a little bit more up and back, the back gets tighter, the hamstrings get tighter, the pull gets more crisp. This is his first week doing power cleans in 2 years after an injury. I have rack envy. Yeah, his rack is really nice.
We've got more.
Yeah, do you need to get yourself under the bar more? No, he's just pulling the bar higher. That's fine. Yeah. Decent power cleans. It's nice to see
Mhm.
those. What the hell?
What
I'm
is
not
it?
gonna
Is this
look
a
at that.
bench?
This is a bench that someone made that says "fuck fear" and there's dudes screaming on it. That's
Hell
pretty
yeah,
sick.
dude.
And a very old shop vac. That's like an antique shop vac from like 1980. All right, ruptured patella. Oh, sick! What a fucking good name.
Damn, dude.
Mm-hmm. How do you think he ruptured his patella?
Well, probably because he fucking does stupid fucking deadlifts like this.
Okay, let's see how stupid his fucking deadlifts are. Okay, it's kind of a bad angle. You look too far from the bar. Bar's out from midfoot. I just want to see how he ruptured his patella.
Fuck, he probably has it uploaded somewhere.
I hit it with a hammer on my own. All right, let's just look up knee. Let's control find knee. He says knee issues, bad knees.
Switch for patella.
I'm gonna get his name a bunch.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if
Hey,
there's
so he
any-
likes the app, so can't blame me for that.
Oh, there you go, man. Yeah.
Use the app. Ruptured patella, 1 star.
All right. So how do we fix these deadlifts, Chase, with this poor man's patella injury?
So this kind of goes back to that discussion we were having earlier with like he's figure number 2 here. So
Mhm.
raising up the hips, making sure that his hip position is way higher, that his shoulders are more over the bar, and that the bar is over the midfoot as well, and that his knees are kind of pulled back a little bit. So he's going to get into a position that's way more uncomfortable,
Mhm.
and then from there just push.
Yeah. So like patella, we're asking you to take the quads out of it more because like this bottom position we're getting into. I mean, we had it here. Let's see. Did I close that image? We'll just open this in a new tab.
Oh, look at Skinny Chase down there as well.
Oh, where's Skinny Chase? Did I see?
Just in the middle,
Mhm.
halfway down. Yep,
Ooh,
right there.
la la.
So skinny me.
Look at this
What a
young
young,
lad.
naive little boy.
Okay. Why am I going to Pinterest? What is going on here?
Oh
Chase,
hell
is
yeah,
this
dude!
you?
Time to
Hell
eat
yeah,
healthy.
man. Time to eat. Dude,
Is
this
that the
guy's
view? Is that a
shredded.
cartoon version of
Oh
you,
my
Alex?
god, look at how round these things are.
Did you draw that? You drew that, didn't you?
All right, 7:30 a.m. breakfast, 8 p.m. snack number 3. So he has 3 snacks through the day. What a life of luxury that is. All right, we're getting off of Pinterest, this hellhole. Yeah, so what we're asking you for, Patella, is to take the knees out of it. You're just so incredibly low at the bottom position. Yeah, so this looks like a trap bar deadlift that you're doing with your with a straight bar. These are the joint angles for a trap bar deadlift. Yeah, the deadlift is not as much of a quad exercise. It's mostly for the hamstrings, glutes, and back. You're squatting for that reason, so you don't need to get that too far in your knees. Okay, this post seems like a bunch of words. Red panty night, bag of issues here. Losing upper and lower extension and knee slide. So he's losing knee
What's
slide.
red
or knee
panty
slide?
night mean?
Yeah, I
Can
don't
you
understand.
clarify
That either.
this?
We'll get back to that. He tried everything but can't seem to get a more horizontal position. Please help. Thanks. This is by CJ Tangme. Let's see if he said what a red panty night is.
Like I've heard that term before, but
Where have you heard that term, Chase? What?
I swear to God, I've heard it at least once.
How many
Either
times
on
has Ripito
TV.
called you that?
Red panty night.
No, it's like
Don't Google it.
shit
You're
got,
not gonna
shit
wanna
got
be.
wild. Like it means shit got wild or some shit like that. But
okay.
I could be wrong.
Conor McGregor said it.
Red panty night is when, yeah, but that's like the
Could be that.
English is your fourth language use.
I can only read that in Borat's accent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's when a woman is on her period.
All right, so here we go. So Red Panty Night is a sports podcast about the UFC. A night meant your wife will wear her red fancies. Okay, so they're saying that it could be
It's a special night.
It's a special night,
Like your
red
wife's gonna
panty
wear
night.
her red panties.
Yeah, things are gonna get crazy.
Okay, so Conor McGregor's catchphrase was red panty night? When the fuck was that? And then we have horse profile, Equibase.
Hey, this horse has won
Kentucky.
$47,000.
This is pretty good, man. Actually, I think Red Panty Knight is doing good. All right, so
It's
in
jockey Louis
2022,
Negron.
yeah, he was
This
that
horse is
comedian.
making more than most starting strength coaches.
All right, so this horse made $26,000 in 2022 alone. Career earnings
Fuck that thing.
I
$47,000.
think we should get on this horse.
Won first, twice, second, third, complete
Help us sell
stats.
a horse so we can do a camp in Australia, guys.
That's true.
That's true.
I want to see a picture of this horse. You
I don't
would
think it's actually wearing red panties, Alex.
No, that's
If
Workouts,
that's what you were
nope.
hoping for.
handily 9 out of 73. That's a lot of fucking
Runs in
horses.
the dirt.
Auction history. All right, so this horse is so 17. So this horse is $29,000 in terms of buying cost, and has netted back $47,000.
Yeah, but I mean, how much does it cost to maintain the horse, though?
That's true.
And
Average
all-
horse
and all of
cost
its
per
panties.
year. You know, one thing I'm gonna bet that all of the horse breeding places, they sound like eugenics places. Excel Bloodstock, Havens Bloodstock Agency. These just sound like eugenics places. All right, we're getting back to the. We'll get back to the.
That was more interesting than this squat, to be honest.
uh,
You can tell we're getting to the end of the pod.
when we're looking up horses.
Yeah.
Oh no. How would you help this young man? Someone please help him quickly.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's
That's
very nice.
There's a lot.
Chase, you got to do that in an in-person session. If someone ever
Jesus
comes in
Christ.
for a one-off, just what the fuck?
Yeah,
Just
I've said it several times in my head, but never.
never out loud. Okay.
But no, this guy needs to establish some eye gaze here. That's going to help him a lot with this back angle. Going
Is the
down.
guy?
I don't know. I'm just going to assume shit. I always refer to the male the male terminology here. So like, he's going down not too terrible. Like, of course he's pretty fucking high, but his back angle is remotely fine. He's keeping his eyes down, but then he's cranking his eyes up. He's cranking his chest up out of the bottom. So to help him with that, eyes stare like right where his feet were. So like right in between his little stands there. Yep. And then from that point, he's just gonna have to keep reaching down. So keep bending your knees and your hips, and then don't stop until your ass is below your knees, and then come back up.
Yeah, he's thinking so much about this upper back thing and the leaning over. You just need to close your damn knee thing. So like when Chase's egg concept before, you just need to blast the egg. You need to crack it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking for tactile feedback of the back of your thigh, your hamstring, getting in contact with your calf. You want to squeeze those together real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then just squat with your legs, dude. Less squatting with what's it called?
With your chest and your
torso.
back. Yeah.
With panties.
Mm-hmm. With your panties. It's a red panty night. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Any parting shots for the guests here? To our very loyal 300 viewers. Thank you, by the way.
You got
To
4
that.
watching at the moment.
Well, yeah. So, but every week we have very consistently a precise 300 people who are just like,
nice.
every week I'm getting my sips of Strength Club coming in. I'm getting a deep sip of
You
mixed
got
Hansen.
1,600 subscribers.
That's true, man. 1,600
That's
subs.
insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah. And it all started a year and a half, 2 years ago with
It's been
one
longer
pod-
than that, hasn't it?
No, I think it's been 2 years. No, I think it's just 2.
It's been a
It
minute.
started in 2020.
Do you think we're ever going to get Rusty back on?
Fuck no.
After his divorce, if he gets, he's gonna get divorced, and I don't know, or maybe he'll become a double stepdad. Who knows what it'll
he's
be?
never getting
Fucking
divorced.
knows, man.
I've
That's
seen
good.
the post on Instagram. He's doing well. He's like you, Alex. He's
He
one of
likes his
the
wife.
he likes his wife. He likes being married.
That bastard.
And yeah. And he's
Oh,
happy. So I hate him.
Damn him to hell. God damn. But all right, boys. Thank you all for watching. See you guys later.